Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter from Vancouver Island, Canada. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a couple cards using an alternative floating frame technique. Let's get started. Okay, to start out, I've got a piece of just photocopy paper that I've cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and I've pre-stamped and cut out a whole bunch of the cookies from the Nothing's Better Than stamp set. I'm going to use one of the rectangle dies from the Rectangle Stitch Dies set, and I'm going to line it up so that it's in the middle of my photocopy paper. And then I'm just going to trace around it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to arrange the cookies on my photocopy paper, and I want to make sure that when they go across the line of the die that there's going to be enough room on either side of the cookie once I cut it to put a dimensional on it. So I'm just going to randomly add my cookies wherever I want. All right, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to take some Glad Press and Seal. Now it's got to be press and seal. Regular saran wrap will not work. It's not sticky enough. And I'm going to carefully lay it down over top of my photocopy paper and cookies. Once I've got it laid down, I'm going to press it in so that the cookies stick to the press and seal. I carefully pull it up. Make sure everything's nice and stuck, and then I'm going to trim off the excess with my paper trimmer. Now I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to line up the same die that I traced. I'm going to line it up so it's exactly where it was when I traced it. Run this through the machine. Okay, so now I've got two pieces that I'm going to use to make two different cards with. I've got some white cardstock that I've cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and this is going to go on the front of my card base. I've got two card bases here in Soft Succulent. Okay, so before I create my floating frame, I'm going to want to make sure that I've got my stamps aligned on the white part of the cardstock, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp these. All right, now that all the stamping is done for the front of the card, I'm going to carefully peel off the photocopy paper. And I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of the cookies. I'll use mini dimensionals for the smaller pieces. And I'm just going to trim off any of the dimensionals that are overhanging. Just to make placement easier, I'm only going to take off the first 2 rows of the dimensional backings, and I'll show you why. Okay. So I'm going to carefully place the cookies down, trying to make everything even in the middle of the card front. Looks good. And then I'll just roll it up so I can access the rest of the dimensionals and pull the backing off. And this just allows me to stick it down easier because it does move around quite a bit. Now I'm going to very carefully remove the press and seal, being careful not to tear the cardstock. Now if some of your cardstock does tear, and if you have a Stampin' Blends in the same color, you can try to touch it up. There, now we have floating cookies. I'm going to adhere this to the front of my cardstock and finish decorating the cards. Here are the cards after I've finished decorating them, and a few others to show you that I've made using different stamp sets. This is the Taco Fiesta stamp set. The Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, which is retiring soon. And this is from the Nothing's Better Than stamp set that I used for the video as well, and this is also retiring soon. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks for watching.